What a shame. What a shame. Bye.
Bye to all the rich people who have money to spend. It's terrible. Keir Starmer took part in a radio phone-in where it was calls from listeners.
Yeah, on
and
LBC.
He said, he made this interesting kind of comment about how he would not raise taxes on working people. Now that set hairs racing, that he would then go for savers. And I wrote that story and Labour couldn't kind of come up with a way of saying that that wasn't true. But it caused this whole kerfuffle about what is a working person.
He was slightly caught off guard by the question from Nick Ferrari on LBC, who said, well, what is a working person? He slightly hesitated, and I think he said, oh, it's someone who's in work. It's someone who, if they might not be able to write a cheque to help someone out if they were short of money. Although I don't think there's many people left in the car. I couldn't write a cheque because I couldn't find my chequebook because I'm not sure I have one anymore. I don't think there's many. But I think it's just an example of politicians are so trained in what's the answer to different questions. How do you talk about for Keir, his 5 missions or the 6 first steps? And then sometimes the question just takes you by surprise and you struggle for a second to engage and think, well, how would I describe this? I mean, the answer that they've given more recently is it's people who get their earnings from work rather than people who are kind of living off of trust funds or millionaires in massive houses.
But that's just people, isn't it? I mean, how many people live off trust funds?
Well, not many. That's why. But that's
it's
why. I mean, it is maybe a strange term to use, but I think it's just them saying most ordinary voters aren't going to be impacted. It is just going to be if you are some of those privileged in society.
I think it's odd to me because obviously the Labour Party traditionally is the party of the working class, but he cannot bring himself to use that phrase, working class.
You accuse him of class war if he did that.
Well, there is that. You know, that is fair. But I mean, the phrase working people, is that... It just is confusing to people because if you are talking about everybody apart from probably 100,000 Trustafarians, then that is quite a weird. You're just talking about the country. You're just talking about the people, aren't you? So it was really confusing. I think also when one of my team was with Keir Starmer yesterday and said, "Are you a working person?" and he kind of looks a bit. And then he did answer, yes, I am a working person. I mean, that just is everybody apart from people who are retired.
non-doms who are kind of living.
Well, non-doms are already leaving the country, John. So there's not going to be any of them left, are there? What
a shame. Bye.
Bye to all the rich people who have money to spend. It's terrible. I think what it does, though, actually send a signal to is retired people, pensioners. Are they going to tax pensions?
No.
Well, then they're not matching the Triple Lock Plus, which means that anybody on a state pension who will be dragged into income tax for the first time, that is going to happen. But also they haven't ruled out taxing the relief on pension savings. So when you were talking about ordinary working people, and if you then explain that means basically everybody in the country, then you are having to look at other groups, aren't you? So that could include pensioners.